Good afternoon, traders. It is Friday, October 12th, 2018, and the U.S. stock market is closed. Well, I was really hoping yesterday on the close that we're going to see a turnaround here. There actually was something of a turnaround in the Dow, but we didn't see a turnaround in our equity. We um, did, did okay with our exits. We exited with positive $5,000. That was good. That's a lot better than we've been doing recently. But the problem was we got into 10 new positions and only 2 of those turned out positive, 8 are negative, and we are carrying negative $8,700 in open trade equity going over the weekend. That's not good, and it could get worse on Monday. I, I would predict it doesn't get worse, but this market is um, trying to decide what it's going to do right now. It's pretty difficult. Okay, the Dow, part of our problem today has to do with this pattern we saw today. The Dow opened up almost 400 points positive this morning. Of course, that's real good, and that did help us a little bit with our exits this morning. But the problem is it went from being almost 400 positive to down here at the bottom in the middle of the day, it was just hit negative, and then it came back, and it came back pretty strong, and we ended up 287 points on the Dow. So that 287 points up. That's a nice move, but the problem is what it does in between the highs here that it made right after the open and the highs it made right before the close. It was mostly a selling market, and that's the problem we're having with the stocks right now. There's just an awful lot of selling going on, and we don't do well in a seller's market. But anyway, it could be a lot worse. We made $5,000 and we're holding 8,700 negative over the weekend. I've been in a lot worse shape than that, but it doesn't have a real good feel. I'll show you a couple of stocks. This first one kind of illustrates what our problem today is. I had this set up. Okay. This was a stock we were holding coming in. It is ZUO, which is Zuora Incorporated. I think that's a biotech stock. Anyway, pops up this morning, and we buy those gaps, and then it sells off into the middle of the day with the Dow, but unlike the Dow, it doesn't come back. So we buy on this opening enthusiasm at the beginning of the day, and then the enthusiasm doesn't come back into this particular stock, and we're holding negative 2,600. And of course, 2,600 isn't a killer trade, but it's still it's not helping us. By the way, that actually was the worst trade we had. We didn't have anything and no particular stock that was just horrible today, but it was just like most of the stocks, 8 out of 10 that we got into were negative, and it all adds up. And then I'll show you again. This was our best trade. I showed you this yesterday. This is JNUG, which is a gold mining stock. And we had bought this yesterday right out of the gate on a little gap here. It kept going, closed up over $5,000 here, but then it does this little pullback this morning, and the pullback isn't great, but we saw, $5,000 go to $4,000 when we get out, and we needed that this morning. And when there's a lot of buying going on, this goes the opposite direction. We get out of these trades better than where we were holding them. And in this somewhat negative selling environment that we are in temporarily, our stocks get worse the next day rather than better. We just have to live with it. It won't last forever, but it's very frustrating right now. This is Trader Bob signing off. You guys have a fantastic weekend. I'll be back here on Monday.